Hello, vinyl community. How you doing? I'm Gary, and this is Physical Format Rock and Roll. Thank you so much for tuning in. I wanted to do a album review on an album that has just came out fairly recently, but I still wanted to give myself enough time to listen to it before I talked about it. Didn't take that long for me to form an opinion because unfortunately there's only 4 songs on this album. And what I'm talking about, of course, is the new one from Billy Idol. This is the Roadside EP. This is his first album in about 7 years. Billy, unfortunately, is kind of notorious for taking long breaks in between albums. No different here, even though this is only 4 songs. He's notorious for taking these long breaks. And what's crazy is when you think about it, especially I think if you're somebody like my age, is that Billy Idol has been around for about 45 years or so. He has started out, of course, he started out in the 70s with Generation X, which was a punk band. And then he went on to start his solo career in the early 80s. He had a hit with the Generation X song, Dancing With Myself. Of course, he went on to White Wedding, Rebel Yell, all those songs from there. He's had his ups and downs for sure, but he has released this new album. And once again, he is working with the wonderful Steve Stevens on guitar, who helps him co-write these songs. Steve Stevens is a great guitar player. He is also he is right there with Billy Idol. You cannot mention Billy Idol without mentioning Steve Stevens. And he's playing fantastic on this album. This was produced by Butch Walker, who is a veteran producer and, is a musician himself. Matter of fact, he plays a lot on this particular album. When whatever instrument that Steve Stevens isn't playing is pretty much what Butch Walker seems to be playing on this. So, Billy Idol, 65 years old. I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people, including myself, but I'm not any younger either, so obviously Billy just keeps getting older, but he sounds great on this album. There's the back of it. Real quick, got a pretty cool picture. I love the cover of this album. I think that's great. I like the fact it's got the highway there and kind of faded into Billy. I like the way he's on the front, still showing himself, and this looks very cinematic. I love that, and I think that describes a couple of the songs on here. So it starts out with the song Rita Hayworth, which is just a fantastic, classic Billy Idol rocker. I think it's a perfect opener to this album. It is very much a sarcastic song in a way, talking about Hollywood and the ups and downs of the pitfalls. It's got a line in there that I love that gets repeated. It says, "You're swimming with jaws," capital J. "You're swimming with jaws, and this dream town will swallow you whole. You're going to need a bigger boat." I think that's pretty cool. Obviously, it goes back to Hayworth, Hollywood. And the title itself, Rita Hayworth, it goes, "You look like Rita Hayworth from the pinup in a magazine." That's a great chorus. I think it's cool also that he throws in the name Rita Hayworth because it just goes back to classic Hollywood, but it just shows, Hollywood has always been somewhat seedy. And Rita Hayworth is a name that, Rita Hayworth is before my time. So, younger people, I'm sure, have never even heard the name Rita Hayworth, but she was a beautiful actress from back in the day. And I think it's very cool that he took that name and made it this the title of this song. Next up is probably a song a lot of you have maybe heard already. It's called Bitter Taste. Wow. This is a great melodramatic, slower song. It almost has a Chris Isaak kind of feel to it, but it is fantastic lyrically. It goes back to Billy Idol's accident that he had in the early 90s on his motorcycle, where he just about lost his leg in that accident. And the song, he wrote it, he said, because he wanted to relate to something kind of along the lines that people might be feeling from the pandemic, because that's when he wrote it. This was being written at the beginning of it. And as far as feeling that kind of feeling of helplessness or hopelessness at times, but getting through it, this is also fantastic lyrically. And like I said, it relates to his motorcycle accident. I like this. I'm going to ride this bike to the edge of town, roll to the bridge with my eyes shut, and spit at the stars, scream in the dark. There's nothing I can do to change it now, but if I cut myself open, baby, you can read all my scars. Read all my scars. Hello, goodbye. There's a million ways to die. Should have left me way back. Should have left me way back by the roadside. This is great. Basically saying, you know, man, I should have been dead back there, but I wasn't. Kind of changed his life a bit, turned things around. Fantastic song. Next is You Don't Have to Kiss Me Like That, which is, it sounds like it'd be maybe a stupid song with that title, but it's actually another great song. This is one of those electronic rockabilly type songs, much in the vein of Rock the Cradle of Love, if you will. Fantastic song. I love the way Billy sounds on this one. Next, last, only 4 songs, right, is Baby Put Your Clothes Back On. Once again, that sounds like title-wise that might be a stupid song, but it's not. It is along the vein of Flesh for Fantasy type of feel to it. And the whole thing is kind of saying, look, we've got a good relationship. Let's maybe don't take it so fast. We're friends. Do we really want to cross this threshold here where we can never turn back? I like the relationship the way it is. Don't want to go any further. I don't want to mess things up. That's what the whole song is about. Anyway, this is classic Billy Idol. It's very eclectic. Every song is different. I would give it 5 stars, but I'm only going to give it 4 because it's too doggone short. Come on, Billy. It's been 7 years since your last album, and we only get 4 songs. But hopefully, maybe he's going to put out a full-length album. He'll throw these songs on there. I don't know. But right now, I highly recommend this album. Fantastic album. Billy Idol still doing really good work here in 2021. The Roadside EP. Go pick it up. I'm Gary. This is Physical Format Rock and Roll. Until the next time, my friends, I will see you down the road.